What do you guys see? Because that's really the question. All right, let's get started. We have the dollar index here. It doesn't really matter what the heck it is. You get on the monthly. Now, any rational person, trader, human, they get on the monthly, scroll a little, and here we are. We all notice this, okay? I don't care what strategy you're using. I don't really care how you trade. But we have an up move like this. There's no arguments here. Okay, this is actually the best strategy. It's called truth. You just look at the facts. You know, on a chart, you look at the facts. Nothing else really matters. Okay, but here we are on the monthly. A move like this, just think about it. Where is it? Well, the smart question. And we're not really here to question. We're not questioners. We're traders. Okay, we're not even analyzers or analysts. We're traders. Okay, we trade our analysis. But the real question here, where will it stop? Where will it make a U turn? How high can it go? Maybe this is cheap. Maybe this is expensive, right? And that's the question. Okay, and when we ask such a question, you look left. Remember, look left LLC. You look left. Now this is the monthly, so we go back as far back as we need. Now we're getting in 2000 here. By the way, guys, we're in historic times. I don't know really how to stress it, but these are the moments of your life right here. I'm not here dropping a video for no reason. Okay, maybe we can wake up a few of you. Okay, but we look left here. We see a cluster here. We see another cluster of candles, but the point here is there was a U turn made here. So you really can't argue that these prices, somebody important decided that it was what? Right from that point, the highest sell right there to all the way down. Obviously, where it made the U turn, somebody thought it was expensive. Okay. Now, do you draw it with a bunch of lines like that? No, not really. There's different ways we can break this down and draw it. Okay. But the point is, we have a impulsive move here on the monthly, and we're heading in that direction. Okay, so absolutely, from the monthly, you would. Now, I don't want to get into. Well, maybe we're gonna drop more videos for you guys. I don't want to get into the instrument, which is the dollar index, and why this is going up, and what that means to the world. That's another story for another time. Okay, but somebody could have drawn this base here at that candle opens and closes to the high over here. Okay, and someone else maybe noticed that, well, it didn't close above, right? If you want to get technical here, it didn't close above, but it pretty much went straight through this range zone resistance. Who cares what they call it these days? Now, since that's the case, a smart trader would want to see potentially this next one. Okay, it's not hard. Obviously, the base is hard for them. It's all, well, you need more seasoning. Okay, you need your eyes to get a little bit more seasoned. One trader sent me a message today complaining, "Oh, I'm 3 years in and I'm struggling." I told him he just got the appetizer 3 years in. I mean, get some humility, be a little humble about it. The surgeon goes there 8 years or 10 years, the surgeon, and then maybe does a surgery and big bang. Okay, and this guy 3, and that's really the appetizer, all right? But they got on Idiotgram floating around pictures. 3 years, and that's when you get consistent. I mean, who said that? I'm not sure, but they got a lot of rumors and myths going around in the trading game, especially with the Idiogram. I mean, this is not how it was back in the day when we started. Okay, before the marketing gurus. But let's get back to these candles. The first ray is the easiest. Is the high, the highest point on the planet, 121, whatever it is. You guys with the magnet lovers use it. Okay. The next question is the base. Obviously, when you have something like this, you would want to delete the initial. Okay. 3 lines on a chart, too much. Too much, guys and gals. Clean it up out there. I mean, you guys have a whole bunch of weird stuff going on there. Clean. Look at this. I'm trying to really in a few minutes. Well, we'll see how long it takes, but go through a bunch of charts. I want you guys to see what I see. End the story. Let's see where there's a base here. Now, okay, here's one way, which is there's a heavy volume point, obviously, which is the POC. It's somewhere in here, the heaviest volume point. Well, that's maybe a level you want to have maybe labeled. But here's the basis. There's one way you can approach this, which is this whole entire cluster here, or even just within there. Okay, there's a POC, obviously. There's a point of control within every cluster of candles. Now, that's not really the base or anything, but it's important to understand. I mean, not a bad target, the, the, the POC of this cluster. But let's look at maybe a base. Here's a base right there. Is now based on our rules, technically, is from the high to the base of that candle with the high. But a reasonable trader, and it's not a bad range, by the way, but it is a narrow one and it is the furthest one. Okay, so yes, that could be potentially, but I see this as a little tight. That is potentially a base right here. This is potentially another base right here. Even here. Okay, now the question becomes which base matters? Well, we definitely have that one. Okay, and here is our monthly situation. Who knows if this range will get wiped? And that's the question. But why do I do this red stuff here? This thing that you guys call money, it's a product. So what does that mean? That means it has a price, it has a cost. So what's happening? This price of the product is going up. I'm sorry to make it this simple for you guys. Okay, and another thing we need to understand is this is considered a safe haven, is this dollar index. Okay, so the dollar strengthens. Now, that's a whole other story. Dollar strengthens, okay, and how that affects everything else. Okay, but let's say the price of the dollar, the price of money, the money is getting more expensive, guys. Cost of money is what? It's going up. Okay. What does that mean? Okay, you need money to buy everything. Okay, to buy a house, buy a car. You need money. Buy assets, obviously. Assets that cash flow. But this cost of money is going up. Okay, so if you want to buy anything, it's just gonna be more expensive. And most of it, guys, they don't buy it cash, unfortunately. We don't even want to get into the fact that this is all we have to tell you. So you guys can understand what's going on actually in the world. Guys, there is no money. Okay, it's all a loan, it's all debt. The central bank issues it. Okay, it's fiat currency off a blank check in simple terms. Okay, but every dollar is actually a loan that needs interest paid on it, unfortunately. So there is no such thing as debt free. Okay, that's like money free. There's no money if there's no debt. Money is debt. Just think of it like that. Okay, but this is what we're seeing on this dollar index, which is what, guys? I mean, just from this, I mean, sometimes you do this, but just from this, you can get the situation on this one. You can get the situation maybe on this one. You can get the picture maybe on this one. What do you think? It looks like this or the opposite of this? The opposite. And there's your analysis for these. But we don't do this often, right? But this dollar index, we take a peek at it. Take a peek at it and try to understand what happens typically. Forget the chart. What happens typically to the world when this thing is going up? Hey, what happens to the world, right? It's not like you need rocket science. Go see when it was crashing. You know, what happened to the world when it's going down? Like over here, where the origin of our range, where it's actually getting there, and we're definitely will be watching this here. When it gets there, valid signal, valid zone, I mean, you get to work, right? Look at the information, right, that you can get from a monthly chart. Now, why is this important? Because, guys, I don't care if you're on the 1 minute. The guys are on the 1 second these days, okay? But your 15-minute trades, your 4 hour setups, all these trades you're gonna put it into context with this. Don't you really want to put your little small little short that you're doing off the most weirdest imaginary zone that you created? Maybe put into context with the monthly, right? So you're going to, I don't care what you do on the little stuff. Get this monthly out of the way, get a good picture, accept it, deal with it. It'll be smarter to try to ride it up into the zone. No, I mean short. I mean we barely got into it, and the smart trader remembers that we're using the wider base. So actually somebody could have it like this, and they're definitely waiting, and shorts would be maybe risky. Okay, this is on the monthly picture. It's just a bias type. It's just a directional bias. It's just that bigger picture context. So you go do this little stuff. You don't forget where you are in the big planet in the outside world. You see this monthly just pushing. Let's not forget this basing zone here that actually did not get wiped, but maybe it will be. Maybe this becomes a wick, which is a lot of you fall for it, like the hyper kid. This thing, they're all bullish, and this thing then becomes a wick. And they, all this buying, oh, it got wiped, and they use it to sell into it. You don't assume it just got wiped. It's, well, remember, guys, it's the end of the quarter. It's a special video, a special time. because what do we have here? 6 days, 18 hours. You could really change your life in 6 days, 18 hours. Okay, if you get on the same side of the monthly. Those who can hedge, hedge. Okay, what does that mean? That means if it's going up, you don't keep shorting it unless you have some longs running, and vice versa. Okay, but let's. I'm not really going to go into the weekly 4 hour. This weekly, I mean, pretty vertical. I mean, you're definitely going to get some retracement, some pullback, but how long, how much, who knows? Then again, if you're on the weekly, you'd be have to be playing on the monthly range. Now, here's what some people do, so we can try to help you guys out. Is this is a weekly? Well, now this weekly has its own basis, so you could use weekly basis, and it's just a more refinement. Monthly, obviously, just 4 weeks in one monthly candle, but a little bit more detail. Maybe you can refine your zone, is what we say. Maybe refine your monthly zone here. It wouldn't be crazy. Okay, now I wouldn't really go on the 4 hour and try to refine a 4 hour zone within here. I mean, you could, but you got to be real fluid. I mean, when it's going vertical like this, real fluid. Okay, so dollar index going vertical. What does that mean? Do some research. How about our pal here? How about our pal here? I mean, this is, well, let's just draw it. Now, let's just label a VIP area. Now, who knows that it was going to be a VIP area? Who knows, right? But now this is really important when you have what? This is one this is one wick. These are, I'm talking now, monthly wicks. Right here. There's one. And then it goes into the same area. Now this was a liquidity run. This is very important. Somebody may have shifted here positioning. Okay, but the point is, I'm going to highlight. There's one wick. Now, that's not important. Well, it's all important, right? But not really here. Now, when you get another wick, now you have my interest. Okay. Now, if you have, well, we can consider this one here. But if you have this one here, this is a third time the area's wicked. Guys, on the monthly, a third wick. Okay, don't listen to me. Over here, well, not really. You didn't get much wicks, like three. When it makes U-turns, I mean, this is like 3 wicks on a monthly in the 1980s over here. But one, two, if it wicks the same area 3 times on the monthly, I promise you that that's important. Okay, so I mean, you don't need to rub it in your faces, okay? But absolutely, when this goes up and then ends as a wick, sorry, it's all green and they're all buying their faces off, unfortunately. Okay, but when this goes up and it's green, okay, this is where we're super loading. Sorry, we're just watching and getting ready, maybe. Okay, but even then, I mean, this is what you guys should be doing, right? You should be watching the formation of this monthly wick, hopefully pyramiding down along the way, making a killing. And then as soon as it goes black, I mean, this is should be the times of your lives, guys. It shouldn't be. You guys should manage your risk, get to work, pyramid your pair. Now, as soon as it goes black, and then it goes, I mean, maybe there's somebody sold, somebody important. Okay. Now, here's unfortunately what is going to happen. Well, which is maybe even what happened. But let's take a look at this monthly wick, and you'll see there's a lot of 4 hour zone buy zones in there. Well, not a lot, but the point is there's always going to be buy zones. Okay. We'll even do it just a bunch of rays like this. But here's one, and then maybe here's another one, and then there's a whole bunch here, right? Within this weekly area. Okay. The problem is, let's say these ones here, even lower. Well, it's not a problem, but you just have to watch out. Is when it comes back there, they're all ready to buy at, well, even a valid signal, right? But it's not always, guys, valid signal, valid zone, and you take it. Well, it could be a zone that, I mean, it's like almost pretty much getting wiped. Okay, I don't care if it's valid. Okay, it's not every valid signal, valid zone. You gotta. Well, that's where the patience comes in, and the detachment and the FOMO. Oh, what if I miss it? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Don't sleep then if you're scared to miss it. That's not rocket science, right? So